But I wanted to get your thoughts now, yes, on the game coming up, the battle of the BAYS, as I'm saying, the GOAT Bowl, Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, the two GOATs, the two BAYS. We all know what happened week 6, but week 6 doesn't mean shit. Rodgers said it himself. It means about as much as it did when the Saints got their butts kicked by New Orleans their second time around. That's about as much as it means because you all saw what happened. So give me some of your early thoughts on this game, what you think might happen, some of the players that you might be looking forward to, or some of your amazing stats that you have pulled up for why you think the Packers have a good chance to pull it out on Sunday.
Well, there's only 2 teams in the whole NFL that have more wins at home in the playoffs than the Packers.
Ooh.
And that would be New England.
Okay.
In San Francisco. The Packers have 18 wins, San Francisco has 19, and then New England has 20. So home field advantage for the Packers clearly is higher than any. Obviously, playing in New England is probably super hard.
Yeah.
And the only other place that I could think that would be harder would probably be Kansas City.
Yeah.
But I guess San Francisco has had crazy amount of good quarterbacks. Yeah. So that's probably why they're up there. But Lambeau Field is just a place where most people don't want to play.
No.
It's going to be 25, and there's a 50% chance of 1 or more inches of snow on Sunday.
Yes.
So Tom Brady, he even said in that post-game interview with Aaron Andrews that his blood's thinned out.
Yeah. And did you see the post-game with the Rodgers and Brady the very first time they played? And Brady and Rodgers, they met at half field, and Rodgers was like, yeah, we'll see you later, man. We'll see you later.
Yeah, because he knew he was probably going to meet up with him again. And, Rodgers, he's always been that type of – he wants revenge. And this is he didn't say it on the Pat McAfee show because I feel like he's too reserved right now. He doesn't want to say anything. But him in his mind, he's ready to get back out there and prove to everybody that who he is and that he is the MVP and he's the undisputed MVP. And, you can say all you want that Tom Brady's the GOAT, but Rodgers' talent is literally unmatched. And now that he actually has a top 10 defense, his defense ranked number 9. What happened last time that Rodgers had a top 10 defense?
They won the Super Bowl.
There you go.
They won the Super Bowl.
This team's different. And week 6, like you said, was just an anomaly. Or you got to look at our 2 other losses. They were both one-score games. Aaron Rodgers got robbed of throwing a Hail Mary against the Vikings. And then we screwed up and just let the second half of the Colts game, we let them come back and lost in overtime. We didn't get blown out ever again.
Nope.
We were blowing teams out.
Yeah.
That was just a weird game, and I think the Packers are going to be able to come out, and they're scoring an average of, almost 32 points a game, and that's what the 31.8 was what they scored regular season, leading the NFL, and then they scored 32 against the Rams, the number 1 defense, and the Bucs defense is ranked number 6 overall. Yeah. So if we can put 32 on the first-ranked defense, what do you think we're going to put on the number 6 defense?
They are the number 1 rated rushing defense, though, which I think is going to be the challenge. But even still, LaFleur said in his presser this week, we had some opportunities and we had some big runs, but for some reason, we just got away from it. And that's something that I want to bring up because I think this time around, they're not going to get away from it.
Yeah.
This week, we're listening to all of the different conference calls and interviews and everything like that. And Rodgers alluded to in his second year now, he's sort of embraced the check down.
Yeah.
He said where in the past where, he would hitch it or he'd kind of look for something else or he didn't even know exactly where the check down was going to be or what his, safety valve was. But now he's more comfortable. Now he's embracing the check down and sort of living to play another down and taking what the defense is giving him. And he's also trusting LaFleur more to say, look, I know this guy knows what he's talking about. He's smart. And if I just do what he tells me to do here and play within the confines of the scheme, there's going to be something down the road he's working toward. He's setting it up. And the second thing to me that is evident and that I think is an underrated part of this season is Matt LaFleur in his second year. You know, I mean, if you ask me, that first time he went to the playoffs, okay, they beat Seattle, but then he met up against Kyle Shanahan, who had already been a head coach for a few years. This second time around, I just think LaFleur is more comfortable as a play caller. I feel like he knows where he wants to go with the ball. He knows what he wants to do. He has a better understanding of his players themselves, what Lazard can do and what MVS does well and how his guys like to maybe run the ball. And now he's established the run, and I feel like that's the identity of this team now. It's not like it's all run all the time or as run heavy as other teams like Cleveland or San Francisco or Baltimore or Tennessee. But the identity of this team is we're going to play smash mouth football and we're going to set you up. We're not going to just come out and just try to throw because we have a Hall of Fame quarterback. We're going to play smart football. We're going to let you play into what we want to do.
I think everybody knows that a first year to go 13-3 with a new head coach is like phenomenal. But to go back-to-back 13-3, like everybody can tell that they're more comfortable. At the beginning of the season, like our offense was stepping up, but we had a couple bad games. It's just how it is. And then as the season goes on, like we have just looked even better and better, like every single game. Like since our last loss, like we haven't gone backwards. We've just been able to go forwards. And Matt LaFleur I think he still has that point in time where he gets a little bit confused, but that's what Rodgers is there for. Yeah. He has way less of those now. He's able to control more than he was last year. He's stepped up and he's just an amazing head coach.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I even posted something on my Instagram about one of these, I guess, media outlets talking about why LaFleur should be coach of the year, you know? Yeah. And it touched on a lot of the things about just how good this offense has been, how good he's been in situational football. He's had one of the highest grades in situational football, like play calling all year. And they dive into like every single call and every fourth down call and short yardage call and in the red zone, and how this Packers offense, I want to say, is the best red zone offense in the NFL, which a lot of times people will tell you is an indicator of how efficient and how explosive and how good your offense is. When you get into the red zone, into the gold zone, I love gold. When you get into the gold zone, can you put that motherfucker in the end zone? And can you put up points and not settle for field goals? And this team has done that. I think people are still underestimating LaFleur. You know what I'm saying? I still think people are expecting his defense to get, to shit the bed and Rodgers to maybe, have another game where he's like, just doesn't look like himself. But I think it's almost like that 2012 game. It's kind of what it reminds me of when the Legion of Boom sort of like came into existence when they went up against Tom Brady, and Richard Sherman had that infamous quote when he runs up to Brady after the game. He's like, "You mad, bro? You mad, bro?" Like, I really feel like, honestly, like this is gonna be one of those games on the second to biggest stage all year where the NFL world is gonna look like, damn, Green Bay is actually a little juggernaut out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really have a lot of guys on defense that can make plays. This isn't just Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? This offensive line really is the best offensive line in football. Like, wow, look at Aaron Jones. Like, maybe he should be talked about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly who it is or how it's going to turn out, but I do think this can be one of those games, and that the adjustments that Matt LaFleur has been able to make all year long shows to me that he's finally, I think, starting to put it all together. And I saw this interesting stat that it said Rodgers has been blitzed 185 times this season and only sacked 4 times. 3 of those sacks came against the Bucs in week 6. So since then, they've really gotten their shit together as far as like picking up the blitzes, understanding how they want to attack the blitz, understanding how they want to protect against the blitz. And I just think that there's just so much that's going to be different about this game. And it's not, the defense, Gary, since week 16, has been one of the highest. He has been the highest graded edge defender in the NFL with a 91.5 overall. Jair Alexander has been the highest graded cornerback all year.
Right.
And people still aren't really talking about him. I definitely think, similar to how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to get the New Orleans Saints monkey off their back after getting beat up twice in the regular season, I think this Packers team is going to show the world, like, look, man, we are different. We are not the same Packers that got destroyed last year in the NFC Championship game. We are coming to win, and we don't give a damn who wins on the other side of this thing in the AFC, the Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, whoever. It's Green Bay all day, and we're going to bring Lombardi back home, baby. Bring him back home to Titletown in 2020-2021 season.
Cynthia Freeland has the Packers winning 28-24.
28-24. That wouldn't be a bad game, man.
That's too close.
That's
gonna be too scary. Like, I can't have, no. I mean, I like that we could score 28 points, but the fact that our defense would give up 24 is a little too much. Just go down to 21, 20, 19. That score makes me think that there's going to be 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and Tampa Bay has to punt, and then we're going to have to use all 5 minutes and go down and score a touchdown because we're going to be down, we're going to be down, so we're going to have to go down and score the touchdown and run the clock out. And with that close of a score, that's literally how I see it happening, and I'm just going to be too stressed. I'm going to be so stressed, and I'm going to be freaking out the whole time. I mean, not that I don't already do that, but
right.
But that's how, with that type of score, that's how I see it going, and I don't like that. Like, we need to be up the whole time.
You want to just be up the whole time, and you want the defense to be playing, and you want the offense to be. Look, I mean, I could see it going a couple different ways. I could see it being a one-score game. I could see it maybe, like I said, being a two-score game, 10 or 13 points. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of drama, and because I think drama is always good for the story. Rodgers having a fourth quarter comeback victory over Tom Brady, it's usually Tom Brady has the fourth quarter comeback victories in these big moments. So Rodgers putting the team on his back, going down the field with 2 minutes to go. I mean, that would be kind of crazy too,
Here's a stat that I don't really like, but I feel like I got to say it. So says teams to defeat a team by 20 or more points in the regular season and then face them in the conference championship game are 13-3 in the rematches. So the team that beat the other team by 20, that team, the blowout team, wins. And they're 4-0 in that situation in the last 10 seasons. And the only thing that I can think about is us last season. We're part of that stat. So we need to change this. We need to change this.
We need to make but I always say you don't make history until you do, baby. So we're gonna be part of that history shifting stat. At one point in time, the Green Bay Packers had never, ever lost in the playoffs at home. And then, Michael Vick came into town one year, and he changed the rest of the NFL history. So it's but as you said, man, the Packers have one of the best winning percentages at home in the playoffs in the history of the NFL. 18 wins. We're about to put 19 on the board. It's really feeling like it's their year. It really is.
I agree.
So you have any other final thoughts on that besides that stat? That's kind of a low note.
I know, it is. I know.
I want to end on a higher note than that, man. Let me see if I got any stats. Aaron Jones, he has 3 rushing TDs in 3 straight playoff games, which is a franchise record, and he's currently averaging 7.1 yards a carry.
Wow, that's really high.
Yeah. We're going to end on that stat. We're going to end on that stat, man, for this segment. The Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers preview game of the week.
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.